Bro, bro, look at this number. Just look at it. It's not a typo. It's not a simulation account. This is my actual funded account after just one trading day. And the craziest part, I wasn't even supposed to be in a trade like this. So somehow I accidentally traded 10 times my intended size. And somehow, I ended up making over 9K on the day. We need to talk about what happened. All right, what's up, everyone? Welcome back. If you're new here, this channel is where I document real trades, real money, real reactions, no fake screenshots, no paper trading, no BS. So subscribe if that's your vibe, because today, this video is one you don't want to miss. So before I get into the chaos, let me just explain really quickly what I trade. So if you're not familiar with the futures market, I trade the NASDAQ 100 futures contracts. Specifically, I usually trade the micro NASDAQ, micro NQ. That's $2 per point. So if it moves 10 points, it's about 20 bucks, right? And I'll trade between 8 and 16 contracts at a time. Now, the micro NQ has a big brother called the mini, all right? I know the names don't really make sense because it's like micro, mini, whatever, that both mean small, but this is less small, okay? The mini contracts are $20 per point. So 10 points is $200. So if I have 8 contracts on and it moves 10 points, on the micros, that's 160 bucks. On the minis, it's $1,600, okay? So now let's get into the trade. Part of my process is managing risk, right? Is looking at how much risk am I putting on per trade, right? I like to think about them as calculated bets because that's what trading really is. And one of the things I look at is where are we at in the market and where are we likely to go and how far away is that move? So right now it's 10:30. You know, the opening range is set. I can see that the bulls are defending the opening range. The bears try to drive price back down on the bulls, fall all the way back. The candle on the 10-minute closes right at the opening range high. So I'm looking at this and thinking this is a prime long setup. It's 10:30. I'm looking at potentially where my stop should be, which should be below this wick, because if this fails and they come back down below here, then it's likely going to fail and keep going lower. And that's where I would be, quote unquote, wrong on the trade. I'd be wrong on the trade idea. So, you know, it's 10:30. I like the way it looks. I go ahead and I click buy. And so I'm in this trade, and, you know, very quickly, this trade starts to work in my favor, right? My stop is still here at 15 points, but I knew my risk was really down here. I always could move it down if I wanted, but I didn't need to. The break-even stop triggers. Not sure why it only did it for partial there. But very quickly, you can see if I pause right here, I'm in this trade. It's been 22 seconds or so, and I'm nearly at my first take profit. And I have it set up like kind of layered so I can just adjust my orders however I want. It's a whole lot easier to move contracts around when they're not attached or grouped to each other. This looks like a prime setup to first break this pivot high and then ultimately to go break the pre-market high, which is right up here. Again, it's hidden by all the lines, but as you can see right there, the pre-market high. So I'm not looking at P&L. One of the things that I've been working on is to not look at P&L at all. I just want to look at the price action. So I'm looking at the 10, looking at the 2, I glance at VIX, I glance at ES, I'm looking around, things are looking good. Okay,
target
great.
Filled.
Target filled. I just hear target filled. Okay, no problem. That's fine. Again, I'm still doing that, right? I'm looking at my process. I'm looking at my vertical monitor here. I've got like the top 10 names, you know, Amazon, AVGO, whatever. Looking, okay, we're still in. It's fine. Blah, blah, blah. Just running the whole process. Now, I'm going to bump this up a little bit so it's a little bit faster for you guys. So you know that just is continuing to go on. This is now the same 2-minute candle, right? On the same 2-minute candle, I'm about to get the 25-point scale. So, okay, great. I look, the 2-minute candle is about to close.
Target filled.
Target filled. So now, in the same 2 minutes I entered on, I got 2 scales. Fantastic. This trade's working well. That is an extremely strong candle. I think my stop's in a good place. I don't think they're going to come back down more than that. But now that I'm up 25 points, I actually move my stop up, and I move it up about 5 points. Great. Stop to +5. I've taken 25 points, taken 15 points, no problem, right? Well, it's around this time that as the market continues to play out, I realize, wait a second, my P&L is moving a whole lot faster than it should be moving. Like, what's going on here? And that's when I'm like, oh man, like we almost broke that pivot, blah, 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 blah. Like, I'm like, what do I do? And I'm kind of in that panicky mode of, should I just close this trade out? And so what I decide to do is take this order, right? And
target filled.
And I just like drop it down, and literally that happens as it surges up. So I end up taking 2 scales like that. Okay, I'm trimmed. Now I'm at half off.
Target filled.
Another one gets filled. I move my stop up to the low of this candle, and I'm just like, oh crap. Because I could just close it out. But at the end of, when I look at the like, and kind of like this panic, like, oh crap, I wasn't expecting this. I decide, hey, I'm not going to just slam close the button because I've already made more on this trade than I thought I was going to. So there's like, what's the risk here? I should just let the chart continue to play out, because whether it was micros or minis, like nothing has changed about this chart. This chart is still very strong. It's very bullish. We've made a good move. We broke the pivot. And so I moved my stop up to a respectable place. It's fine if I get wicked out or stopped out, whatever, because it's way more money than I thought. It's still $1,200, $1,300 on the stop. So no problem. It's really, I'm just like, it's no problem. So I'm trying to be cool, calm, and collected when, in the meantime, my head's going a mile a minute. I let this thing continue to play out, right? I still have my same targets. I don't know why they're showing up here as 59.5 is supposed to be 60 points. So that's kind of weird. But again, I am just doing this on replay to show you guys. Whoops, I didn't mean to move that. There we go. It's at 60 points. Remember, this one was at 60 points. And this one was at 80 points, right? Above the pre-market high. And the market continues to work. It continues to move in my favor. I'll speed this up for you guys. Again, this works well. Move the stop up. Why not? As soon as this candle does break, I move the stop up again, because why not? Like, lock in more profit as I go.
Filled.
Target, again, this is sped up. Target filled, it moves up. Move the stop to the 2-minute candle low, etc. And it continues to work. Now, as this trade's working in my favor, I start thinking about, hey, we've now broken over. This is really moving. I have this stop here. I'm sorry, this target here up in like just oblivion, just outer space, right? Just in case, there's some squeeze action or something crazy happens, because sometimes that does happen and you just get like, it flies up. And so I want to have something that's just kind of like out there to maybe catch a crazy runner. So I decide to go to the 5-minute chart, and I think, okay, I'm going to manage this stop now on the 5-minute chart. So I move my stop to there. That's awesome, right? Like, looking at the realized P&L, I've already made a ton on this trade, like a ton. Like, what's there to be upset about if I get stopped here? I was going to make 1/10 of this. I was planning on making 1/10 of this. And it's not that I haven't had big trades before, and everything about this trade still fit my process. Everything about this trade was proper, except for the fact that I was on NQ instead of MNQ. But the rest of the process, in terms of looking at the market, reading the market, where should my stop be, clicking the appropriate size for what I thought, it all checks out. It's all there. So now the market has, now the market's made this move. It's made this move up. We're over the pivot high. And from here, what I see is, hey, we wicked above this candle, and then we came back down. And so I'm thinking, hey, you know what? Not only do I want my stop to really be the low of this candle, because if it comes back down again after wicking over, it's probably not something I still want to be in. And that's totally fine. I'm happy to take 85 points on NQ, right? Like, why not? So the market continues to work, right? I'll speed this up. We'll go, like 8x here. In about 2 minutes or so on the chart, you guys know what's already going to come. What's going to happen is I'm going to get stopped out. But what I want you guys to see is the thought process behind, again, where I had my stop, and I'm still perfectly okay with it. And the reason I'm perfectly okay with it is it wicked above this candle, and this candle closed back down pretty bearish. And it just didn't look that great. It looked like the potential it looked like the potential for, you know, like a spinning top up here. Some of that was going to make me think like, hey, we'll put in a tight body doji candle and then roll over a little bit back down. And objectively speaking, I could see it rolling back down as far as like 780s, right? To retest this pivot high on the 10-minute chart, or, you know, maybe even like the 805 range, 800 range to retest the pivot on the 5-minute chart. And if we think about that, that's if it goes to 805, that's 50 points. That's $1,000. Do I really want to sit into $1,000 of pullback to see if I'm right about it going higher or not? And so we'll let it play out. And you'll see in a second, like I'm going to get stopped, right? So then the final P&L after just this one trade is nearly $8,000, right? So then what I do, and maybe this is foolish, maybe this isn't, but you guys can let me know if you think this is foolish or not, is what I do from here is I decide to, with all the other trades that I take for the day, I make sure that I'm on MNQ, and I decide to have this one be a follower account, because in my mind, I'm thinking like, this is all gravy here. So why not try to have this be a follower with really no risk? And if I'm risking, you know, $300-400 on other trades, right? If this is a copy traded trade, right, and I'm going to risk $300-400, well, I'm risking money that really shouldn't be mine in the first place because I got lucky, and I know I got lucky. So I decide to, you know, I take a couple other trades, nothing major, just like scalps or whatever, and that's how I end up running it up to the final P&L of $9,124. At a certain point, though, I have to say that I looked at that 9,000, and the limit you can make on a TPT account is 10K. And I really thought about pushing it for that $876, that last little bit to get to that 10K mark. And I think now I'm proud that I didn't push the limit. I'm proud of the discipline where I said, hey, you know what? This is way more than enough. Let me stop. And I stopped. And I closed it out. I locked out the account in Trade-Evade. Great feature, by the way, if you're not using it. And I just shut down the broker, and I was like, hey, you know what? It's a Friday. Like, I'm done. It's a fat payday, right? And then, of course, TPT takes their sweet time. And I didn't get the payout approved until like late Sunday night. But that's whatever. It's all good. It got approved. The money hit. It's fantastic. So anyways, that's the crazy, super lucky trade. Let me know what you guys think. Has this ever happened to you before? What would you do? Would you close the trade out? And hopefully you don't all make this mistake and have it go against you, because that could just as easily have happened here. But man, this was fantastic. I hope I can catch another A+++ trade like this one. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you in the next one.